Hi, welcome to our channel, Programming of Mind, where we accelerate your knowledge with concise, from high-value book summaries. Let's begin. The Awakening, embracing the unity of all things. Siddhartha's journey continued to deepen as he spent more time by the river, meditating and reflecting on the lessons he had learned. With the passing of time, his understanding of life and its mysteries began to unfold. The river, which had become his constant companion, was no longer just a symbol of the flow of life. It had become a teacher in its own right. It had shown him that everything in life is interconnected, that every moment, no matter how seemingly insignificant, is part of a greater whole. This realization led Siddhartha to a profound understanding that to find true enlightenment, he had to embrace the unity of all things and see the world not as a collection of separate parts, but as an indivisible whole. The illusion of duality, letting go of the divide between self and others. One of the key realizations Siddhartha came to during this phase of his journey was the illusion of duality. In the past, he had seen life in terms of opposites: pleasure and pain, wealth and poverty, success and failure, self and others. These divisions had created conflict and confusion in his life, leading him to search for fulfillment in a fragmented world. However, as Siddhartha meditated by the river, he began to see beyond these artificial divisions. He began to understand that the concepts of self and other were illusions. Everything in life is connected, and the apparent separations between individuals, experiences, and events are merely mental constructs. Siddhartha realized that by seeing himself as separate from the world, he was perpetuating his own suffering. The desire for personal achievement, recognition, and success had kept him locked in the cycle of striving and dissatisfaction. But when he let go of the need for distinction between himself and the world around him, he experienced a profound sense of peace and unity. He began to see that all beings are interconnected and that there is no true separation between himself and others. This realization was liberating, for it freed him from the constant striving for individuality and success. This understanding of oneness and interconnectedness would be the key to Siddhartha's final spiritual awakening. He no longer saw life as a series of isolated events to be mastered or conquered. Instead, he understood that everything in life is part of a greater cosmic flow, and the key to happiness lies in accepting and participating in this flow. The role of time, seeing life as a continuous cycle. Another profound lesson Siddhartha learned by the river was the nature of time. In his earlier life, he had seen time as linear, a progression of past, present, and future. He had felt that each stage of his life was distinct, and that his purpose was to move through these stages in a linear way. However, as he meditated by the river, Siddhartha began to see that time, like the river, is cyclical. Just as the river flows constantly without beginning or end, so too does time. The past, present, and future are not separate entities, but part of a continuous cycle. Each moment flows into the next, and everything is interconnected in this timeless flow. This realization shifted Siddhartha's understanding of his life's journey. He began to see that his experiences, whether they were moments of joy or pain, were not isolated incidents, but part of a greater, ever-present cycle. By letting go of his attachment to past regrets and future expectations, Siddhartha was able to live more fully in the present moment. He understood that each moment of life is precious, and that true fulfillment comes not from seeking some distant goal, but from embracing the richness of the present moment. The river's flow, which had once seemed like a constant reminder of time passing by, now became a symbol of timelessness. Siddhartha saw that, like the river, time itself is ever-present and ever-changing, and that it is only our attachment to the past and future that creates suffering. By releasing these attachments and embracing the present, Siddhartha found a deep sense of peace and contentment. The return of Kamala, a meeting of the past and present. As Siddhartha's understanding deepened, his path came full circle when he encountered Kamala again, many years after their last meeting. Kamala had lived a life full of passion and sensual pleasures, and their relationship had once been a defining moment in Siddhartha's journey. However, since then, both of them had undergone significant changes. Kamala had aged, and Siddhartha had found a deeper, more meaningful connection with the world. Yet, their meeting was not one of longing or regret. Instead, it was a meeting of two souls who had both grown and evolved. Kamala, now older and wiser, was still living in a world of desire, though she had come to a deeper understanding of its impermanence. She had never found the lasting fulfillment she sought, and now she had realized that true happiness could not be found in the transient pleasures of the body. Kamala's journey had also led her to an awareness of the unity of all things, and when she met Siddhartha again, she saw in him a reflection of the wisdom she had been searching for her entire life. The reunion between Siddhartha and Kamala was not one of attachment or desire, but a meeting of souls that shared a mutual understanding of the impermanence of life. Siddhartha had found peace within himself, and Kamala had learned to let go of her own attachments. Their connection was no longer about physical pleasure or possession, but about shared wisdom and understanding. Kamala, now a mother, also had a deeper realization about the importance of spiritual growth, and through her own experiences, she was beginning to understand the nature of true happiness. The river's voice, Siddhartha's final realization. The true turning point in Siddhartha's journey came when he realized that the river was speaking to him, not through words, but through its eternal flow. As he sat by the river, Siddhartha heard the voices of countless people and experiences, all merging together in a harmonious whole. He heard the voices of his past, his moments of indulgence, his experiences of love and loss, and his search for meaning. He also heard the voices of those who would come after him, for the river's flow was continuous, unbroken. At that moment, Siddhartha had an epiphany. He understood that everything in life is interconnected, and that there is no such thing as a single, isolated experience. Every moment is part of an eternal flow, and each experience, whether joyful or painful, is part of the greater whole. He realized that life itself is not a journey toward some distant goal, but a process of continuous growth and understanding. The river had taught him that enlightenment is not a destination, but a state of being, an understanding of the unity of all things, and an acceptance of life as it is in all its complexity. With this realization, Siddhartha finally achieved the peace he had been seeking. He no longer felt the need to strive, to seek, or to possess. He understood that the path to true happiness lies not in external achievements, but in the inner peace that comes from accepting life's impermanence and embracing the flow of existence. A real-life parallel, the wisdom of aging. Siddhartha's return to Kamala and his realization by the river can be seen as a reflection of the wisdom that often comes with age. In our own lives, we sometimes go through cycles of growth and self-discovery, experiencing moments of success and failure, indulgence and deprivation. As we grow older, we often find ourselves revisiting the past, not with regret, but with a deeper understanding of the interconnectedness of our experiences. For example, Eleanor, a retired teacher, spent most of her life pursuing external goals, teaching, raising children, and striving for success. In her later years, she began to reflect on her life and the meaning of it all. She understood that her achievements were not what defined her, but rather the wisdom she had gained through her experiences. As she connected with her past and looked at the world with fresh eyes, Eleanor came to the realization that true happiness was not in attaining things, but in understanding the interconnectedness of life and embracing the present moment. Thank you for listening, and please like the video and subscribe for more great upcoming content that will put you in top 1% people in the world.